After a solid home win to start the 2018 season, the Riley Wildcats embark on their first road trip of the year, coming south on 3/31 to take on Northern Indiana Conference foe Bremen. The Lions also come into this game undefeated, so who will prevail in the battle for Miami Trail? Find out next on 46. Temperatures in the 60s and a nice southern breeze. It feels like football at Don Bungie Field tonight for the NIC opener between Riley and Bremen on TV 46. And how you doing, everybody? Between the Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby, and it's great to have you with us for another Friday night of high school football. The Riley Wildcats turned a lot of heads last year. They had their first winning season since 1997. A lot of people wonder, can Jarvis Edison's team build on that? Well, they had a solid win over New Haven to start the year.
They really did, and we liked what we saw at practice. They're teaching, they're coaching, they're not getting in anybody's face. They're trying to make it a fun experience. Got a good turnout. They still got kids coming out for the team. Got a quarterback in Williams who can run and throw. Cummings, excellent running back. But a guy I'm really excited about seeing tonight is Kobe Luga. He's a defensive back, plays a little wide receiver as well. But he had 2 interceptions last week, and he comes up and stings you like a mosquito, but he's an intense player, and I'll tell you what, this is a team that learned how to win last year, and they're going to be tough. And Jarvis Edison pretty confident heading into tonight's game.
Yeah, they taking advantage of the opportunities that's been presented to them, and I'm very proud of them. Hopefully they can keep it up, because that's one of our goals, is to be consistent in our play.
A year ago, Bremen suffered through a losing season, first time in 8 years that happened, but they experienced some growing through the pain. Now they have 18 of those 22 starters back and looked impressive last week in a win over Tippecanoe Valley.
15 of those 18 are seniors, and these guys, as you said, they were hardened. You know, they were proven a little bit in the fire last year, and they are going to be ready to go against Riley tonight. They've got an excellent quarterback in Caldwell, who's a very smart quarterback. Likes to throw the underneath routes once in a while. Good running back, an excellent young man in Nate Mullins, who's overcome a couple of setbacks to be ready to play this year. And this is a team that also has some good wide receivers. Special teams is pretty good. And I got to feel like they're playing at Don Bungie Field. It's going to be a good opportunity for them.
But their coach, Jordan Leeper, knows his squad gets a test tonight from Riley.
First off, their coaching's great. Coach Edison's got them going in the right direction and doing the right things, and they're a very good football team. And secondly, their speed. All right, we're always concerned about the speed of the team, and that hopefully we can handle that tonight.
I won't say how many years, but long ago, this young man used to scamper on this gridiron here at Don Bungie Field, and it's always special, I know, for you to come back here. And it's got to be special for both of these teams this year, because with New Prairie moving out of the NIC South, boy, this division looks wide open, and even though we're only in the second week of August, it kind of looks like a big game.
It definitely is a big game. These are two of the many front runners for the South Conference, and this game is very important. These are two quality teams. Both have a lot of leadership. Bremen has a lot of guys coming back. So this is a very important week 2 game in this season, especially in the NIC South. If you go in after this week with 1 loss, you're already chasing everybody else.
So it should be a fun one. Riley and Bremen get things started in the NIC. We've got the Jordan Automotive Keys to win next on the 46 Game of the Week.
HME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Thor Industries, Bethel College Admissions, Teachers Credit Union, Bill's Heating, Jordan Auto Group, IU South Bend, Electrical Workers Local 153, JV Macri Orthodontics, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, and stress-free. The fireworks going off at Don Bungie Field as we get you ready for kickoff between Riley and Bremen. The rain just started falling as the band started playing the anthem. Let's take a look quickly at our Jordan Automotive keys to win for tonight's game. First of all, for the Riley Wildcats, they're led offensively by their quarterback, Justin Williams, 6'2", 180 pounds. So the senior threw for 261 yards last week. Defensively, the top player is Kobe Luga, the 5'6" junior. Comes into this game with 10 tackles on the year and a couple of interceptions, which helped pave the way in the win over New Haven.
The keys to win for the Riley Wildcats tonight, fundamentals. The work goes on with Riley as they continue during the season, trying to increase their fundamental base. Consistency, and they've got to be able to handle ups and downs during the game, and tackling is the key. They're quick enough to get there in a bad mood, just got to wrap up and take them down. Jarvis Edison, 10-12 in his third season now at Riley.
All right, they have sped up the pregame on us, so that does it for our Jordan Automotive keys to win. We are underway with Colin Kerr kicking the ball down to the 20-yard line. Kobe Luga takes it there, and Luga spins to the 34, and that's where the Riley Wildcats will have it 1st and 10 to begin today's game. Our first quarter tonight brought to you by Tyler's Heating and Cooling. As you take a look at Justin Williams, the 6'2", 180-pound senior, 12 of 22 last week for 261 yards and 3 touchdowns, but also a very mobile quarterback. He ran for 62 yards in the win over New Haven, and he'll start from the shotgun. Jalen Cummings, the lone back behind Williams, who throws out in the flat. Jalen Jennings makes the catch, and Jennings is dragged down at the 38-yard line to pick up a 5 on the play as we meet the Riley Wildcats on offense. We told you about Williams. Cummings ran for 141 yards last week. Jennings, an all-state receiver. And along the front line, Gage Luga, a freshman, in there along with his older brother Gavin. 2nd and 5, Williams throws for Jennings again, but this time the ball got away from him, and it'll be incomplete in 3rd and 5. And here's the Bremen defense, brought to you by the Bremen High School Athletic Department. Along the front line, Robert Mudica was their top lineman last year, and he's back again. Jake Wonder back from an ankle injury to man the middle linebacker spot. And in the secondary, keep an eye on Evan Mangus. He had an interception last week, as did the hobbled Justin Zumbrin. On 3rd and 5, they hand it off to Jalen Cummings in the backfield, tripped up for a loss, and it's a 3-and-out for Riley on the first possession. And it was Jake Wonder who got in there and made the stop for Bremen.
3-yard loss in the play, and special teams going to be a big part of a game like this, especially early in the season. So Riley has an opportunity to pin Bremen back in their own territory.
Justin Williams is the punter for the Wildcats. He only averaged 24 yards a kick last week. He gets off a rugby-style punt that rolls down the field. Nobody back deep for Bremen, and it'll die at the Lions' 30-yard line. So not a bad kick that time by Williams. 36 yards, no return, and Bremen will take over 1st and 10.
Well, Chuck, we didn't get a chance to talk about Ryan Caldwell and Nathan Mullen, but they're two of the stalwarts on this Bremen team, and the keys for them tonight: clean up mistakes from last week, play physically, which looks like they're ready to do tonight. Don't get caught up in the moment. Don't get overly excited about the home opener. You got to focus on those Riley Wildcats.
Ryan Caldwell brings out the team from the huddle. Caldwell, the 5'11 senior, threw for 191 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win over Tippecanoe Valley last week. He will also operate from the shotgun. Nathan Mullen, the tail of the tandem in the backfield. And it's Mullen, the big running back, on the handoff up the middle. Mullen finally dragged down from behind at the 32. A pickup of 38 and a 1st down.
Why don't they ever give the ball to Mullen?
Right up the middle behind the blocking of Zach Gilley, the center. Brennan Adams and Lane Moser, the guards, and Mullen had a massive hole to run through. It's 1st and 10. It's Mullen again. Same play, this time defended much better, but look at the size of Mullen, dragging tacklers before he's held up at the 29-yard line. Pick up a 3 as we meet the Bremen offense, brought to you by the Bremen High School Athletic Department. We told you about Caldwell, his big day. You've met Mullen, Wonder also in the backfield. Justin Zumbrin, 5 catches last week. Sam Huffman, an all-conference tight end. And along the front line, Wyatt Pollard, probably the most consistent of those offensive linemen.
Head coach Jordan Leeper for the Bremen Lions, 13-10 in his 3rd season at the helm.
So it's 2nd down and 7 from the 29. And the handoff to the up back. Bryce Wogeman stood up at the line of scrimmage, trying to get yardage up the middle against this Riley defense will be tough, and we'll explain to you why as we meet the Cats, because you got a big hoss in the middle by the name of Ramon James, who's 325 pounds at nose tackle. Andrew Walkowski, you'll meet him at halftime as our TCU student athlete. We told you about Luga and the big week he had last week. And then you've got a couple of tested corners in Jalen Jennings and Chris White. It's 3rd and 7. Caldwell from the gun. Looks left, fires out there, completes the pass to Colin Kerr, but well short of the first down. Kerr brought down at the 24-yard line. And that will set up Jordan Leeper with his first big decision of the night. It's 4th and 3. His kicker, Kerr, told me before the game he's got a 45-yard range. But in these wet conditions, I think Jordan Leeper is going to take the safe way and go for it on 4th and 3.
He's a very good runner as well. You wouldn't be surprised if he calls that quarterback draw here if they're looking for all the receivers in the pattern.
Caldwell hands it off. In the backfield, that is Wonder spinning and getting down for the first down to the 13-yard line. No, check it, that's Nathan Mullen. Mullen for the first down.
11 yards on 4th down, that's not a bad carry.
Get another copy from Bethel College Admissions, and again, it was Zach Gilley, the 3-year starter at center, who helped open up the huge hole.
Mullen with 52 yards on 3 carries, that's not a bad start.
He had some big games last year, a 3-touchdown performance and an upset of Marion, and 181 yards on the ground against South Bend, Washington. They go to the up back here, brought down with a vengeance at the 9-yard line. Jalen Cummings slamming Bryce Wogum into the turf.
Gonna give him a couple of yards on the...
Yeah, pickup of about 4 on that one, so it'll be 2nd and 6. Caldwell came all the way to the sideline to get the play from the head coach, Jordan Leeper, a former Bremen quarterback himself.
You can bet that Riley was watching out for Nathan Mullen there, and quick 4 yards up the middle.
They've got some wide splits along that Riley defensive line. Bremen gonna try to attack it by rolling out. Caldwell on the run, throws it at the feet of one of his linemen. Caldwell was well outside the tackle box, so he could get away with that one, but that was awfully close to an intentional grounding. Good pursuit by Kobe Luga, the junior wide safety.
Secondary for Riley did a good job too. That's probably where their best athletes are. And again, they had a good test last week and came through it with a victory.
Boy, this is a key 3rd and 6 early in the game, a drive that started back at the Bremen 30. Mullen goes into the slot this time. Wogum in the lone back behind Caldwell. Caldwell under pressure, throws, and it's caught for the touchdown. Sam Huffman on the touchdown catch, the big tight end.
Nice job, nice patience, good throw, 9 yards in the touchdown.
So Sam Huffman gets the touchdown, and Colin Kerr is on to try the extra point. Evan Mangus, the holder, the kick, a line drive, but it is good. 7:44 to go in the first quarter, and the Bremen Lions strike first. Their opening drive finds Caldwell going to Huffman for the score. 7-0 Lions on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Thor Industries, the world's largest RV manufacturer. So it's 7-0 in favor of Bremen. The Lions looking very impressive on that opening drive, and Ryan Caldwell handling the pressure well from the oncoming rush of Riley on that touchdown pass.
70 yards, 8 plays, 3 first downs along the way. And it took them 3 minutes and 4 seconds to get on the scoreboard. Chuck, as you said, it was a very important drive for Bremen. They had done so well moving it down the field to get some points.
A spinning kickoff taken by one of the upmen at the 29, but excellent coverage on the play by Bremen. And Jathan Spicer is taken down after only a 4-yard return. It was Justin Zumbrin on the kick that time. And good special teams coverage for the Lions.
He'll mark it down about the 34 with his forward progress.
Chains getting adjusted on the far side. Riley went 3 and out on its first possession. Justin Williams finds Jalen Jennings. He's got some room to operate, and look at Jennings go. He's got speed to burn. He's on his way out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. They'll mark it at the 36, saying he went out there. 31-yard pickup for the All-State receiver who hauled in 52 catches a year ago.
2 for 3 so far in the night. 36 yards passing for Williams.
Zumbrin managed to knock him out of bounds and save a touchdown. Jennings also a standout on the basketball team.
The only way to defend him in basketball is with a fly swatter.
And it's Jennings again catching the ball on the outside, scooting around tacklers. Jennings tried to stop and go, but stepped out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Gets another Riley first down on a pickup of 18. Well, last week we described Ivan Sowen of Elkhart Memorial as a water bug, and Jennings certainly would fill the bill here under these rainy skies tonight.
3 out of 4, 54 yards for Williams. You get that kind of passing early in the ball game. That's one of the reasons that a guy like Cummings can be effective.
Now Jennings throws or gets another reception from Williams, but this time some Bremen tacklers arrive and not in a good mood. Alex Stouter making the tackle right there after a pickup of 3. On the previous play, though, Bob, when we take a look at the Bethel College admissions replay, look at all the room that Jennings had over here on the left-hand side, and it didn't hurt that he had some downfield blocking as well. So here Williams throws, and it's intercepted. Justin Zumbrin with the pick. So Zumbrin gets the interception. So Zumbrin gets the pick. And it's Bremen football. And the Lions try a double reverse, fumble the football in the backfield, still loose, and Bremen gets on it back at the 12-yard line. So a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 21. There you take a look at the Bremen sidelines. As the Lions trying to build on a 7-0 lead. They have made some big plays here early in the first quarter, but nearly gave one away right there.
Coach went into his bag of tricks there.
Now on 2nd and 21, Caldwell gets under center. Hands off to Nathan Mullen. Mullen bouncing off people, picking up about 4 or 5 on the play. And that'll set up Bremen with a 3rd and long. Okay, so 5.5 to go first quarter, as you see on the Thor Industries scoreboard there at the bottom of your screen. Bremen looking at a 3rd and 17. Caldwell, play action, draw play. Mullen trying to dodge tacklers in the backfield, but too many white jerseys there. And leading the charge that time was Gavin Luga, the junior defensive tackle, who brings him down. It'll be 4th down in a punting situation for the Lions.
So they didn't panic.
Alex Stouter to do the kicking here for Bremen. Stouter averaging 39.5 yards a kick last week in the win over Valley. High snap, but Stouter corrals it. Line drive kick that Jalen Jennings takes at his 42. Jarvis Edison wanted more productivity out of his special teams. Jennings delivers here. He brings it into Bremen territory to the 36-yard line. 22-yard return that time for the senior. And Riley has plus field position here with 4:23 left first quarter.
Good job by the Wildcats. The answer back. I give them credit. They did what they could.
So Justin Williams brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Two receivers off to his left. Jathan Spicer at the line of scrimmage, but there's Jalen Jennings. That's the play they've tried to run all night, and now Bremen has sniffed it out. The Lions with Hunter Bennett and Alex Stouter there on the stop that time. A loss of 2. It'll be 2nd and 12. And really, that's about the only play that Riley has been running tonight. Williams now looking to throw. Fakes to Jennings, wants to go down the field, but it's underthrown and almost intercepted. Evan Mangus had his hands on it, couldn't quite corral it. They were looking for Chris White that time down the field, hoping that the fake to Jennings would spring him, but Mangus read that play very well. So Riley looking at a 3rd and 12 here with 3:46 to go, first quarter, trailing by 7. Cummings, the lone back behind Williams. Williams rolls, throws, and has his man, Darian Taylor, who steps out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. So Taylor will set up Riley with a manageable 4th down situation here, looking at a 4th and 3. As you take a look at Jordan Leeper, the Bremen head coach on the sidelines, trying to come up with a big play for his defense. Riley playing with a very... Williams throws and completes the pass. And it's Jalen Cummings coming out of the backfield. And Cummings has the first down up to the 18-yard line. A pickup of 11 on the play for Cummings. And Riley has its first down of this drive. Its 3rd one of the night. Williams with 2 receivers to his left. Cummings moving that way, but Williams on a design quarterback draw goes up the field for about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6. Riley with a 26-20 victory over New Haven last week in the season opener. Lost a lot of seniors, including the NIC South MVP, to graduation, but it hasn't fazed them tonight. Jalen Cummings goes into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Cats are an extra point away from tying this one up. Cummings on a 14-yard jaunt to pay dirt, his 2nd touchdown of the year. You get another copy courtesy of Bethel College Admissions, and my, oh my, did Dylan Sandusky open up a big hole that time from the guard position. Now Riley rarely kicks. They're going to go for 2. Williams trying to dodge tacklers in the middle of the field. Did he get there? No, he did not. Bremen is able to hold on the 2-point conversion, and Riley is stymied on the extra point attempt. So with 3:02 to go, first quarter, Bremen clings to a 7-6 lead on the 46. Game of the week. Edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt back with you at Don Bungie Field in Bremen as you look at Jarvis Edison, the 3rd-year head coach of the Riley Wildcats, whose team went for 2 that time, couldn't come up with the conversion, and so he sees his team trailing 7-6 as they kick off here. And the spinning kick taken down at the 15-yard line by the Lions. Cruising back up the field all the way to the 36-yard line is Evan Mangus before he's brought down. And it's good field position for Bremen as they start this drive. Let's go down to the field and Bo Hunt with a Bills Heating sideline report. And Bo, your thoughts on this one through the first 9 minutes?
Well, on Bremen's side, we thought they would run. They have been running the ball, but Riley passed a little bit more than we thought they would. I don't understand. They definitely scored, but their offense that we talked about was, they're going to run the ball. They had a lot of rushing yards last week, so we're going to see. Williams, great quarterback, so I can understand why they can throw the ball as well, but we'll see if they change that and make the adjustment in the second quarter, guys.
Nathan Mullen gets about 2 yards on the play before the big fella in the middle of the Riley defensive line, Ramon James, all 325 pounds of him, comes crashing down that time. And he had help from Barry Johnson, the 276-pound nose tackle as well. 2nd and 8. This time Caldwell in the gun. 2 receivers to each side. He pumps, throws, and has his man, Justin Zumbrun. Zumbrun down to the 32-yard line for a first down. Zumbrun had 5 catches against the Cats last year, and he burns them here on a nice one. Here's another look courtesy of Bethel College Admissions, and the pump fake helped get Zumbrun open that time in a seam in the secondary. So 1st and 10 from the Riley 31. Nathan Mullen behind Alex Stouter in the backfield here. And it's Mullen taking the handoff, dodges one tackler, stiff arms another, and bowls his way down to the 26-yard line before he's brought down on a nice tackle by Chris White. So Mullen, who has had a couple of big gains early in this game, manages about 4 that time, as you see the clock in the bottom right-hand corner of the Thor scoreboard. Bremen, as we mentioned, 34-7 winners over Tippecanoe Valley last week. And the handoff to the up man, Stouter. And Stouter works his way down to about the 20-yard line. And Alex Stouter, who carried 8 times for 39 yards last week, has a Bremen first down. Both these teams have shown a great ability to move the football early in this one. Handoff to the up man again. Stouter behind a surging offensive line that time, and he goes for 6. So Alex Stouter, the 5'10", 185-pound senior, going both ways. And a quick tempo for the Bremen offense. They try Stouter again right here. And this time nothing doing. Get them up. They get down to the 11-yard line. It's 3rd and short.
Pretty good drive. Pretty good drive again by Bremen. Boy, both teams have answered back well. Bremen answered back after the turnover, got the stop. Rather, Riley answered back after field position change. Been a tough night for both defenses early.
Mullen on the handoff off the left side, and Nathan Mullen gets the first down. It'll be 1st and goal for Bremen down to the 8 as the first quarter comes to an end. Couple of impressive touchdown drives tonight by both teams. Bremen got the scoring going when Ryan Caldwell found Sam Huffman for a touchdown in the end zone. Riley came back at the other end with a Jalen Cummings 14-yard touchdown run. It's 7-6 Bremen on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Bethel College Admissions, equipping for lifelong service. As you take a look at Jarvis Edison trying to figure out his defense, let's go down to the sidelines for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo Hunt Bremen moving the ball well on offense here. We thought this one might be a battle of size versus speed, and so far it seems to have played out that way.
Yeah, definitely. Before the game, we talked about the running game for Bremen and the up front, the hosses up front, whether or not they were then able to sustain the drives on the for their running game. Definitely on this drive, you can see it. They're really sustaining that drive because they're really getting a lot of push. I believe Bob brought it up with that line drive that they're really getting. When the running back gets the ball, their line's already 2-3 yards down the field. So, by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage, it's already moved 2 to 3 yards. Guys?
So Bremen starts the second quarter inside the 10-yard line, looking at 1st and goal from the Riley 8. Nathan Mullen off the right side, lowers the shoulder, touchdown Bremen. Mullen runs it in from 8 yards out, his first touchdown of the year. And Bremen with a 7-point lead, trying to make it 8 with the extra point. A terrific drive by the Lions, who took the kickoff after the Riley touchdown and marched 64 yards in impressive fashion. Colin Kerr is on to try the extra point out of the hold of Evan Mangus. It is up, and it is good. And with 11:56 to go in the first half, Bremen with a 14-6 lead. Let's take you through some of the key plays of the scoring drive, Bob Nagel.
Well, I think the biggest thing was that pass to Zumbron. He was a little banged up. We weren't expecting him to even maybe see action or get a ball thrown to him, but very reliable receiver. Receiver got it down to the 31-yard line, and they were just meticulous about how they ran the ball, and some good gaps up front. When Mullen gets ahead of steam, he's got another 3 or 4 and gets in the end zone.
So Ryan Caldwell finding all the right combinations so far in this one, and give a lot of credit, as you have, to that Bremen offensive line. That time it was Brennan Adams opening up holes on the right side for Mullen to run behind. So Bremen with an 8-point lead at 14-6, but we have already seen the explosiveness of Riley. Bremen has been doing these short kickoffs to try to negate the Riley return game.
Folks, want to give a big thank you to Bremen Pizza Hut for feeding our crew before the game tonight. Pizza Hut in Bremen has appetizers, salads, pasta, sandwiches, wings, desserts, and of course, great pizza. And they deliver all day.
Colin Kerr's kick this time goes all the way down to the 20-yard line. And Jaden Cummings on the return that time, 10, not 12. And Cummings was able to bring it back to the 32-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Riley from there.
Folks, you can order pizza from Bremen Pizza Hut online at pizzahut.com or call them at 574-546-5888. Pizza Hut of Bremen. They say, go Lions.
There you see Justin Williams, the Riley quarterback. He's been a busy man in the early going. He hands off here to Cummings. Cummings trying to get around the left side, and we get our first penalty flag of the game from our referee, Eric Harmon.
Gives us a chance to meet those guys.
And Harmon signaling the hold on Riley. He's joined tonight by the Browns, Lou and Jacob, along with Joe Garnett and Scott Sanchez.
First penalty of the game, as you said, Chuck, and indication that both teams are well coached, very disciplined teams, and seen a good performance in that first quarter, man. There were a lot of highlights in that one.
It's about a 3-yard run for Cummings, but I'm pretty sure Bremen's taking the penalty here, because if it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, they're going to be able to march Riley all the way back to about the 18-yard line. And in fact, this one goes half the distance to the goal line, so it goes all the way back to the 14.
Gives everybody a chance to run over to Woody's Supermarket, doesn't it?
Well, they've been here for 73 years.
They have been, and Woody's Supermarket offers some of the most competitive prices available, even when compared with today's superstores. Stop in at Woody's Supermarket where you receive customized service, and they'll even load your groceries for you. Woody's, your hometown supermarket.
Williams completes it to Darian Taylor, but then immediately he's brought down by Zach Miller on the tackle. Miller making the first contact over there on Taylor, who had 3 catches in the win over New Haven last week. And you'll get another look from right down around ground level.
Good catch, good defense.
Thanks to the folks at Bethel College Admissions for bringing us the replays tonight. Riley looking at a 2nd and 20. Williams looked downfield, then found Cummings in the backfield. He can't juke all the tacklers that are there, and finally knocked out of bounds at the 27. Zumbrun and Miller combine on the stop.
Another 5-yard gain, but it makes it workable here on 3rd down.
One thing I've seen and liked about Williams tonight is the poise that he has shown in the pocket. He's willing to look off a receiver and check down, and that's what he did that time. 3rd and 15. Now Williams pumps, fires over the middle, and has his man, and Jalen Jennings gets the first down to the 46-yard line. So Jennings settled into the middle of the field very nicely that time after working the sides all night. And Williams was able to pump fake him open. And there wasn't anybody around him when he caught the football. First down for Riley. They come back after that big holding penalty.
Nice adjustment by the quarterback. Again, the quarterback made a nice adjustment, stepped up, took a little more time, and made the completion.
Cats at their own 45. Cummings on the handoff, cuts inside, and rambles for about 6 yards before Robert Mudica, the big senior defensive tackle who was their top defensive lineman a year ago, slams him to terra firma.
Riley throwing the ball very well. Williams on 9 of 11 in the ball game, 80 yards.
He was 12 of 22 last week for 261. He still has not made a connection with his favorite receiver from last week, Chris White, who appears to have man coverage at the bottom of our screen. But Williams is going up top to the left, and it's almost intercepted again. Evan Mangus has knocked down a pair out there at cornerback tonight.
And not to say that he's telegraphing that pass play, but when he throws a deep route, he's hanging the ball up there, and the safety has plenty of time to make an adjustment, get over there and get in the way.
It hangs like a Pedro Strop slider.
Oh, that was painful today, wasn't it?
But the Cubs come back and win on a David Bodie homer in the 10th. 3rd and 4 from the Bremen 49. And a flag thrown and a whistle blown, and this will be a false start on Riley.
Well, they overcame the last penalty. See if they can do it again. Only 2 penalties tonight on Riley, 20 yards total. Folks, the Zahoran Funeral Home has been serving Michiana families for 96 years. They have a long history of treating families with dignity and respect. Zahoran Funeral Home is a proud supporter of Riley Athletics. We wish them good luck in the game tonight and all season long. Go Wildcats from your friends at Zahoran Funeral Home.
Williams shrugs off pressure, throws, intercepted. Intercepted by Hunter Bennett. His first pick of his varsity career, the sophomore pilfers a pass and sets up Bremen in Riley territory.
Looking down in the stands to see where his mom and dad are. You know how mom and dads react to that first big play.
Bennett was able to read the eyes of the quarterback, Justin Williams, and the ball overthrown, and Bennett walks right into it.
Pretty good run back. Put it in play at the 47 on the way in. Another big test for that Riley defense.
Bremen has been able to move the ball liberally so far here tonight. Caldwell running option. Caldwell keeps it himself. Caldwell up the left side, steps out of bounds at about the 27. Make it the 26. A 21-yard pickup for the Bremen quarterback.
Call, a good read. You know, I was just going to say the Riley offense has been pretty prolific throwing the ball, but every once in a while you got to get Williams to pull that thing down and run with it just to keep the secondary honest. And he's got that kind of ability, so we'll see the adjustments that are made when Riley gets the ball back.
He got some nice blocking from his receiver on the near side that time too. I think that might have been Zumbrun. Mullen, no, that's Wogeman in the backfield, and Wogeman carries forward. Look at the leg drive by Bryce Wogeman, taking it up to the 20-yard line, 6-yard pickup. We said one of the keys for Bremen was to play physically tonight. They've done that.
They really have, and they've had to. Riley's got some big, strong, strapping kids out there, but Bremen has shown up ready to play, which we pretty much knew they would.
Now it's 2nd and 4. 2 receivers to the right of Ryan Caldwell this time. It's Mullen in the slot. Wogeman in the backfield takes the handoff and runs right over a tackler and picks up about 2 on the play. Andrew Walkowski was not afraid to stick his nose in there and make the stop. The 200-pound senior linebacker, the captain of this Riley squad, and you'll meet him at halftime, one of our TCU Student Athletes of the Week.
Wonderful young man, very busy.
Boy, is he ever.
Yeah.
City champion for diving and also a member of the track team in the shot and discus. 3rd and 2. Fake to Mullen. Caldwell wants to throw. Down the field it goes, too high for Colin Kerr. 4th and 2, decision time for Jordan Leeper. He could try a 36-yard field goal, but I don't think he wants to.
I don't think so either, Chuck, and I think they've got a chance to give the ball to Mullen or Wogeman to get in there. Wonder's also a good running back. You're looking at 4th down and 2. So even if they don't pick it up, they've got Riley deep in their own territory. But I'd be surprised if 24 didn't touch the ball here.
Well, we haven't seen Jake Wonder in the backfield tonight because of that ankle injury, but Mullen is the tail of the tandem. And Caldwell got him to jump offside. He changed the count a little bit, barked that cadence a little bit too loudly, and 2 Riley linemen jumped offside, and it's a gift first down for the Bremen Lions. And Jarvis Edison not too thrilled with the defense that time. Caldwell really sold it with that little head bob.
Little head bob in there, yep. That's a veteran quarterback.
He's been working with things with Bill Reagan at the Top Gun Quarterback Academy. 1st and 10 from the 13, and I think Riley jumped again, but this time were they drawn off? Offsides against Riley, actually encroachment, as our friends in the officiating community like to remind.
There you go. 30 yards and penalties on 4 calls now for Riley. Got to stay disciplined.
Well, that was another one of the keys for Bremen tonight. They had almost 100 yards in penalties last week, but the Lions haven't had a single flag thrown against them this evening.
Not the only thing they haven't been able to do.
1st and 5 from the 8. Hand off to the up back. Wogeman got taken down close to the first down. In fact, I think he might have it at the 3-yard line.
Needed 5, and I think he got it, Chuck. Might want to take a look here. They're going to give him the first down.
Well, we're trying to see if they've made it a first down or not. Right now, one of the officials is working on a Riley player's equipment, and Eric Harmon, the referee, is going to bring on the chain gang. As you saw Justin Williams over on the far side for Riley, hoping his defense can make a stand after the interception he threw.
The core values at Bremen Public Schools are great expectations, a caring school community, and mutual respect, and they form the foundation for our athletic programs. These values are taught daily in the classrooms and on the playing fields. The Bremen Athletic Department wishes all the student athletes participating in tonight's game the best of luck in their bright futures.
Well, you saw the measurement. A first down there for Bremen, and the Lions looking at 1st and goal from the Riley 3-yard line. They have executed the game plan of Jordan Leeper and his staff beautifully so far tonight. And it helps when you don't turn the ball over.
And it helps to have 1st down and goal from the 3.
Full house backfield. Mullen behind a wall of blockers to the end zone for a touchdown. Nathan Mullen's 2nd TD of the night has the Lions up 20-6. He had a long green line in front of him that time.
47 yards and 6 plays for Bremen, helped by a couple of penalties along the way. Picked up a couple of 1st downs, got in the end zone Still 7:55 to go second quarter, but the trend belongs to the Green States right now.
Colin Kerr on to try the extra point again, and it is up and good. 7:55 left before halftime, and Bremen able to convert defense into offense. The defense supplied by Hunter Bennett with his first varsity pick. The offense from Nathan Mullen, who finds pay dirt, and the Lions are roaring in Bremen tonight. Well, not only has it been a big night for football here at Bremen High School, it was a big night for the softball team because they were honored by receiving their state championship rings before the game. Actually, their state runner-up rings, but they made the state championship game last year in Class 2A. What a job by Mike Huppard's team. And, of course, they've got a slugger by the name of Aaron Koffel, who's going to be a star at the University of Kentucky. But bringing back the semi-state championship trophy and getting down to the state championship game for the first time in school history. The kickoff rolls into the end zone for a touchback, and Riley will start at 1st and 10. But can't say enough about the job Bremen did. What, they outscored opponents 54-4 before the state championship game?
No, and they had an excellent team, as you mentioned. Good hitting, excellent pitching, well-coached team, well-disciplined. They represented the city and the community so well in the state championship.
And the ring was the thing tonight. They all got their state runner-up rings, which I'm sure that's some bling they'll be wearing for a long, long time. Now, back to football. Justin Williams and the Riley Wildcats have a 15-point hole to get out of, and Williams starts by finding Darian Taylor in front of the Bremen sideline, and Taylor is planted that time on a nice hit by Bryce Wogeman, the linebacker.
Well thrown ball and a good pickup.
Wogeman's a member of the Bremen swim team, and he tried to put Taylor into the deep end that time.
He put him into a dive, didn't he?
But it's a pickup of 7 on the play for Riley in 2nd and 3. Cummings in motion. They hand it to him on the end around. Cummings able to escape a couple of tackles, and Jalen Cummings still on his feet. The legs driving all the way out to the 40-yard line. That is a terrific effort from Jalen Cummings, the 5'10", 170-pound junior, who ran for 141 yards last week and accounted for nearly 200 yards of total offense. Robert Mudica thought he had him. Alex Stouter thought he had him. A whole lot of Lions thought they had him, but didn't.
13 yards on the pickup, another first down for Riley.
Williams fires a little too far. He was trying to connect with Jathan Spicer as wideout.
Still would like to see Williams put the ball on his hip and then take it up the field. I think they need for him to be respected by the linebackers and the secondary Bremen.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Riley has really tried to attack Bremen on the flanks tonight with the quick passing game. Williams hands it to Cummings around the left side, and Cummings brought down after a pickup of 3, maybe 4 on the play. Justin Zumbrin in on the hit.
11 out of 17 in the first half for Williams so far for 100 yards.
Cummings is a nice running back. I'd like to see him get his shoulders a little bit lower, but Bo Hunt could probably talk about that technique far better than I could. 3rd and 7. Williams under pressure, ball batted down. Good pressure by Sam Huffman, the defensive end that time, who came in to break up the play. And Jarvis Edison likely to punt this thing away back in his own territory.
6:27 to go. Maybe if it was down to a minute or so, he might take a chance, but good job by the defense. Fundamentals, Chuck, we had that in our keys to win for teams tonight, about just continue to work on fundamentals and the hands up for the defensive lineman.
Williams is the punter, but he's rolling out to throw. Jennings is open, first down, all the way down to the 26. Well, this is something that Jarvis Edison and I talked about this week at practice. And the threat that you always keep against the defense when you have your quarterback as the punter when he lines up back there, you never know for sure what he's going to do. And this time he threw a deep ball to his all-state wide receiver.
And Jennings so quick, picked up 31 yards on the play, and the Wildcats in Bremen territory with plenty of time to maybe get on that board here in the first half.
This is a huge drive for Riley, trailing by 15. Williams rolls out. This time he did try to tuck it under, but he was chased down from behind. And again, Sam Huffman had a touchdown catch earlier, has broken up a pass, and now a sack in this possession.
Thor Industries loves this time of year because team pride is on full display. That team culture from Friday Night Sidelines extends to our Thor Industries team. Build your future right here in Elkhart with one of Thor's excellent career opportunities. Get started today at thorindustries.com.
Second quarter tonight brought to us by Tyler's Heating and Cooling. Williams hands it off to Cummings. Cummings with a nice cutback. Took a pop but kept on going all the way up to about the 20-yard line. And that sets up a 3rd and about 3 after a 10-yard run.
Riley has overcome 4th down. They've overcome some penalties.
Timeout called by Bremen.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a world-class metal finishing company specializing in plating, coating, testing, and consulting services. 59 years as a knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. You can reach us at info@iftworldwide.com.
Tell you, a couple of years ago, if you'd had Riley down by 15, this ball game would be over right now. But last year, the Riley Wildcats went 7-4. It was the school's first winning football season since 1997. And you get a sense when you go to practice over there now of the confidence these young men have. They admit that a lot of seniors graduated from last year's team, but they saw what it takes to succeed. They believe in the coaching staff, and they've bought in.
I saw one of the examples of the community they have at Riley. They had a golf outing this summer over at Erskine Park, and I tell you what, the parents were there helping up. People donated stuff. They had a nice time, and a good group. They've grown a nice community in football over at Riley High School.
3rd and 4. Williams runs it right up the field and gets the first down all the way down to the Bremen 12-yard line. Gavin Luga leading the way that time as the junior guard who served up 50 pancakes last year. Was he work for the Salvation Army? 50 pancakes.
He ate them?
And no, he served them up on the field.
Well, I could add my respect in another way, but I like that effort.
Williams on the run gets it down to the 5. Pickup of 8 on the play. And Jarvis Edison, I don't know if he was listening to what you were saying earlier or not, but this drive engineered quite a bit by the running of Justin Williams.
He's such a fine athlete, a great kid. He loves to stay within what the coaches want him to do, but boy, I tell you what, he's a very, very talented young man.
And that's enough, says Jake Wonder, as he gets Jalen Cummings in the backfield all the way back to the 10-yard line. And Riley now looking at a 3rd and 6.
Took a little too long to develop as Cummings tried to get around the outside.
Cats with the ball just inside the 10-yard line. They've got to get to the 3. Williams gets hit as he throws and threw it too high for Jalen Jennings. Pressure was coming that time from Alex Stouter, and Williams had to get rid of it. 4th down. Riley will not try a field goal. They do not have any sort of kicking game for that whatsoever. They will go for it here.
Adams has a new kicking game tonight.
That's true.
We have a young lady in uniform tonight, trying to see what she can do. We wish her the best.
Riley with 2 receivers to each side. Williams wants to throw. Lobbing it for the end zone. Too high, it's incomplete. Jalen Jennings was double covered, and Bremen is held on defense.
Big try there on 4th down, but he was looking at Jennings the whole time, and when he broke, there were 3 defenders on him. Even if the ball was thrown where Jennings might catch it, he was going to have 3 guys there trying to either knock it down or pick it off.
So a big hold that time on defense for Bremen, but now Jarvis Edison hoping his defense can come up with a 3 and out here because there is still 4:09 to go in the first half, and Riley does have all of its timeouts remaining. Bremen hoping to go down the field and get a big score here right before halftime. Caldwell on the option, pitches to Nathan Mullen. And Andrew Walkowski was there to make the hit again. Walkowski read that play well. You would expect that from a member of the National Honor Society who has a 4.0 GPA.
You're going to get a chance to meet him here at halftime with our TCU student athlete feature. Well, what a privilege it is to meet these young people, and they're so impressive with what they do with their time management, their priorities. Lou Holtz used to say, I'm going to tell you something, you're going to sleep sometime in your life. It's not going to happen here.
Well, the two young men you had tonight, both with at least a 4.0 grade point average. Caldwell throws out in the flat and nothing doing out there. The catch made, but the tackle made by Darian Taylor after a loss of 1. Looked like Justin Zumbrin was the receiver that time, but he had nowhere to go.
Lost a yard on a pass completion. That'll mess with your stats.
And it sets up Bremen with a 3rd and long here. Caldwell came all the way over to the sideline to get the call. The play clock at 15.
Big play here for Riley.
The Cats down by 15. Now the play clock at 5. Caldwell gets it off, throws, and gets Colin Kerr, but he's brought down at the 15-yard line, 5 yards short of the first down. Chris White with the good open field tackle that time. And 4th down in a punting situation for Bremen. You get another look on the Bethel College admissions replay, and while that's a ball that Ryan Caldwell may have wanted to throw with a lot of zip, he kind of got a little bit up in the air that time. Could Bremen be going for it here on 4th and 3? Caldwell nearly got him to jump again, but nobody's moving this time, and Bremen will take the timeout before the play clock expires. So if nothing else, Bremen was able to drain some more time off the clock, and they leave Riley with less than 2 minutes here in the half.
Yeah, that might be enough. Riley's last scoring drive, well, their only scoring drive of the night, took 1 minute and 19 seconds. We'll see. Folks, Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, Teachers Credit Union is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. Federally insured by the NCUA, they are an equal housing opportunity lender.
Let's go down to Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo, we've seen 2 running backs with some productive first halves. Nathan Mullen of Bremen, Jalen Cummings of Riley. They're different backs, and they have different styles, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely do. You look at Cummings, Jalen, he's more of a shifty running back. He's going to try to get you to the outside and use some of that speed. Whereas Mullen, he's going to try to come right at you and try to get run right over you and get those yards and pick them up that way. Guys?
Alex Stouter with a punt that goes out of bounds in Riley territory, down at the 47-yard line. So a 37-yard kick with no return, and Riley has a minute 52 to try to reach pay dirt and cut into this deficit before halftime.
Folks, if you're interested in improving all areas of your fitness program or sport, join the Strength and Conditioning Center in Mishawaka. That is the Beacon Sports Performance Center. They offer youth, high school, and adult performance training. Visit the website at beaconhealthandfitness.org. Reach them today.
So let's see what the Riley offense under coordinator John Jolly calls for here. Justin Williams starts him off, and Jalen Cummings catches a little pass into the flat, and Cummings takes it all the way down to the 36 for a first down. 17-yard pickup on 1st and 10 for the Cats, as they got pressure on Justin Williams, did Bremen, but that left Cummings open underneath.
Nice read. Take what they're giving you right there, and then Cummings turned into a really good gain. Gain of 19.
And you see that darting, dashing style that Bo Hunt just talked about from Cummings.
Gain of 17, rather.
Cummings, the lone back behind Williams again. Williams starts away from pressure, but is tackled at the line of scrimmage. And again, it's Sam Huffman, the defensive end, really doing a good job of closing down the line of scrimmage.
Almost like he's spying on him a little bit. And they got to have somebody staying home there in the middle, and they did a good job. They know about Williams' athleticism just like we do.
Riley has all 3 of its timeouts left, and Jalen Cummings looks a little bit hobbled. I'm a little surprised Jarvis Edison doesn't want to use one right here. Down to a minute to go first half. Williams throws, led his receiver to the spot, and it's a nifty catch that time by Jathan Spicer. Member of the Riley basketball team gets the snare down to the 22-yard line, first down.
Another 15 yards on the pickup.
You get another copy courtesy of Bethel College Admissions as Riley does use a timeout here with 55.7 seconds left in the half.
14 out of 22 passing in the first half now. And that is a gain of 15. So put them at the 163 here in the first half. That's pretty prolific passing.
Williams only threw 22 times the whole game last week against New Haven. Did throw it for 261 yards as the Cats were able to hit on some deeper walls in that game.
Well, again, we were watching in practice yesterday. I was very impressed with Caldwell and his ability to take the underneath route. Sometimes you want to go for the home run, but the guy's open underneath, and Williams has done a pretty good job. He's adjusted well in the course of the ball game today.
So South Bend Riley looking at a 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line as we near halftime in the Northern Indiana Conference opener tonight. Williams again to throw behind the line of scrimmage. He throws to Cummings. Cummings able to avoid one tackle, but not Wyatt Pollard, who brings him down at the 21-yard line. Only a pickup of 1, and Riley will burn another timeout here. They have 1 left. That used up a lot of time for very little yardage.
It really did, and again, they're hoping to break one when you throw the ball to a guy like Cummings. They do have good wide receiver. Again, Chuck, one of the things tonight that we're going to talk about at halftime, what did you see in the first half? Well, Mr. White has not caught a ball yet.
And Chris White came into this game 3rd in the state in receiving yards after picking up 151 receiving yards last week, but he has not had a touch in the first half. What a job the Bremen defense has done to shut him down.
Good communication back there by the secondary from Bremen. We mentioned Evan Mangus. He's going to be with us at halftime, one of our student athletes. And tell you what, you heard great communication during the course of practice. I was here yesterday afternoon, and they went for a pretty extended amount of time. And Coach was, his reaction was, hey, it's early in the season. We got work to do.
Remember, there is added importance to this drive because Riley received the opening game kickoff. So Bremen will get the kickoff to start the second half. The Cats really have to cash in here. They moved it down to the 10 earlier in the second quarter, failed to score. Now looking at a 2nd and 9. Williams throws left. There's Jathan Spicer. Spicer darts to the 17, 18-yard line. He's brought down there. And Riley will hustle up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down. You see the clock in the bottom right-hand corner of the scoreboard. Williams to throw. Wants to go downfield. Going to the end zone. Too far for Jalen Jennings, and there's going to be contact down in the secondary. It looked like Jennings ran into one of the Bremen defenders and got knocked asunder, and it'll be a 15-yard penalty. Or half the distance.
Half the distance. It'll wind up being 7 or so, but it's a great thing because now, Chuck, you're in a situation, you got 19 seconds left, and you can run a pass play, and if the guy's not open, you can throw it away a couple of times. But you don't want to run it. I think they're down to, what, 1 timeout left?
1 timeout left. So you could run it on a quarterback draw or something like that. The holding call takes the ball inside the 10. It's 1st and goal from the 8. 19.7. Certainly you should have time for 3 plays, maybe even 4 if you got rid of them quick enough.
Trips to the right.
Williams keeps it himself on that quarterback draw, trying to get to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Riley. Justin Williams with his first rushing touchdown of the year, and the Cats, who needed a score desperately, cash one in right before intermission.
13 seconds ago, and check the first penalty of the ball game against Bremen. Really helped the Riley Wildcats keep that drive alive. The interference penalty on Bremen.
And now Riley will go for 2 again, trailing by 9. Williams has lots of room, but throws into the end zone, and it's dropped. He threw it too high for Jalen Jennings, and he couldn't hang on. And Riley finds itself down by 9 at 21-12. That would have been a huge two-point conversion.
Would have been, but it's a real good end of the first half for the Riley Wildcats. 13 seconds to go, and they were able to go down the field. They got the ball at the 47-yard line. They go 53 yards, and they did that in 7 plays. The 7-yard touchdown run by Williams.
Boy, I thought Williams had an awful lot of room to run right there, decided to try to throw it, and Williams was open in the back of the end zone, but he threw it too high for him.
Well, and Jennings will be in the huddle or in the locker room at halftime saying, remember, I don't play in the post in basketball, I'm a guard. And a very good one.
So let's give you one more look at the touchdown from Justin Williams. Those of you watching on Facebook Live said you wanted to see it. So here it is. Jalen Cummings threw him a nice block, and then Williams put the shoulder into the guy. Justin Williams is not slight of build. He's 6'3", 185 pounds, and a lot of that's confidence, too.
A very impressive young man, and as you said, Cummings threw a terrific block there. So, again, this is a very good team from Riley, a very good team from Bremen, and we're hooked in a good one here as we approach halftime.
Connor Kingston with the kickoff for Riley. It's taken down at the 19-yard line. Bremen hoping to break a big return, but hurdling rarely works on the football field, and Evan Mangus taken down by Andrew Walkowski. Get used to that combination. You're going to see him again in about 8.4 seconds during our TCU student-athlete
That's
feature.
right. Well, we'll see if Bremen wants to try to do something here at the end of the first half, but they've had a couple of mistakes. They did fumble double reverse early in the ball game. Didn't turn it over, but did fumble.
So Bremen will come out, and Riley will play, I would say, double prevent defense here. But they're just going to hand it off to Nathan Mullen, see if he can get loose. Mullen padding the stats a little bit with 11 yards and a first down. They stop the clock with 2.2 remaining. Now let's see if Bremen decides to try a Hail Mary pass here. As Jordan Leeper calls the timeout, you might as well use it. They're not like cell phone minutes. They don't roll over.
Mullen was 78 yards here in the first half. For Riley, Cummings has 41 yards. And a pretty impressive 21 yards for the quarterback Williams for Riley.
Reminder, we have Big Ten football for you on the radio this fall, and the college football season, well, there are some games tomorrow, but it really kicks off in earnest on Thursday night down at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette. A lot of excitement surrounding Jeff Brome's program right now, but they've got their hands full in the opener because Pat Fitzgerald and a 10-win Northwestern team is coming on into West Lafayette. You can hear it all on Pulse FM 92.1 and 96.9 Thursday night at 8. One play left in the first half, and here it is. Mullen on a pitch sweep. So Bremen decided to keep it basic, and Mullen gets run out of bounds by Chris White, and the first half comes to an end with the Bremen Lions leading the Riley Wildcats in this NIC South clash by a count of 21-12. A good first half for both teams. Riley kept themselves in it with a late score before halftime. Down to the sidelines, a Bills Heating sideline report. Here's Bo Hunt with Jordan Leeper.
Jordan, you go into halftime up 2 scores. Your defense was able to get 2 turnovers as well. Just your thoughts in the first half for the Lions.
Well, we're not executing very well. We're putting ourselves in great situations and then just shooting ourselves in the foot right after that. So we dropped a couple interceptions that we should have had, and kind of the 12 points shouldn't be up there.
Adjustments for the second half.
Continue to run the football, and hopefully we can just continue to do that.
Thanks, Jordan.
All right, thank you.
Back to you guys.
That's not much of an adjustment, but it has been effective for the Lions tonight. They have been pounding the football out, and the notes will be pounded out by the Bremen Marching Band here at halftime, with the Lions leading Riley by a count of 21-12. When we return, Bob Nagel talks to our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. That's next on the 46th Game of the Week.
We welcome you back to Don Bungie Field at Bremen High School in Bremen, Indiana, where tonight we get a chance to honor our Student Athletes of the Week. Brought to you as always by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com. Find out how you can become a member today. And as always, we have a couple of outstanding representatives of their respective schools. Evan Mangus is with us from Bremen High School, and joining us from Riley High School is a young man who's been honored by a lot of different groups at high school, and we're very want to congratulate you on all that. But this gentleman is named Andrew Walkowski, and the coaches and administrators, everybody at Riley talks so highly about you, about all the things. You're a busy guy over there, aren't you?
Yeah, it's I'm involved with a lot of different things, and I've just been blessed with everything. My administrators and teachers have saw potential in me, and they've been able to put me out to different organizations to best fit my talents.
Talk about the sports you're involved with and how you manage that time commitment, because it's an all-year deal.
Yeah, so I play football, obviously, and then in the winter I dive for my swim team, and then in the spring I throw for my track and field team.
And that means discus and shot put and all that kind of thing. So being busy and conditioning everything, how do you have time for all the other things, little social life once in a while?
Social life is pretty small. You know, I go to work. I work sometimes in the morning, sometimes afternoons. It depends. And then you know, I have a little planner at home, so I just make sure everything's in order, and I make sure I'm giving everything 100%.
Good for you. Talk about what you want to do as far as going to college, where you want to go, where you want to study.
I'm looking at Rose-Hulman and Notre Dame, and I'm thinking about studying computer science.
I'll tell you about that later. No, I don't know anything about it, but congratulations on that. Give a shout out to people in your life that matter.
I'd like to shout out my mom and dad. You know, they're just so supportive, and my grandma and grandmother are going to be here tonight. They're always supporting me in everything I do, so I'd like to give a big shout out to them.
All right, congratulations. It's just a wonderful resume you've got going, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Walkowski from Riley High School, our student athlete of the week. And Evan Mangus is with us from Bremen High School. And Evan, you're a pretty busy guy too. Talk about all the sports you're involved with.
I'm in football, and I also do basketball and track and field, and with all the sports I do, I don't really have time to sleep or anything, but
you got to get some. I want to mention too that you're not just involved in football. I was trying to talk to you the other day during practice. You never come out the field, do you?
No, I don't. I do get a little break on offense sometimes. They'll rotate me out, but other than that, on the field, there's not a whole lot of breaks.
When you look at the total package, you're involved in a lot of different sports. The conditioning is the same for a lot of them. You just got to stay in great shape and stay healthy. Talk about how you handle that priority.
I got to make sure that I'm getting enough food each day, keeping up and getting hydrated, because that's a big thing that I got to work on, is keeping hydrated and everything.
A little worried about your choice of careers. You're talking about sports management of some kind, or maybe sports media. What fired you up in that direction?
I've just always loved watching sports and listening to the announcers, and it's just something I've always aspired to do myself as well.
They're really good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Where do you want to go to school, or do you have a choice yet?
I don't really have a choice yet. Right now I'm kind of looking at Indiana Wesleyan and IU Bloomington.
Good choices, and they'd be proud to have you. Talk about the people in your life that matter.
First off, I just want to thank my Lord. It's truly a blessing, just the community I've been a part of and the people He's surrounded me with. I also want to give a shout out to my parents. They're just always supportive of me and everything that I do. And then just all my friends and the rest of my family, they're always supportive, and they're always really uplifting for me. And then just my coaches and the staff at the school, they're all supportive of everything I do, and they're really encouraging.
Well, you had great things to say about you. We do too. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Evan Mangus from Bremen High School, Andrew Walkowski from Riley High School. Our Student Athletes of the Week brought to you by TCU. They remind you to go online at tcunet.com. Find out how you can become a member today. We're back with some halftime stats and highlights in just a moment from Don Bungie Field in Bremen, Indiana. Stay with us.
This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Very entertaining first half here at Don Bungie Field in Bremen finds the homestanding Bremen Lions leading South Bend Riley by a count of 21-12 in the Northern Indiana Conference opener. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel squeezing into the press box here at Don Bungie Field. Partner, good first half though.
Great first half, Chuck. And you know, us guys who mess with the stats and make little circles around things, a couple things are kind of strange. 2 turnovers for Riley, none for Bremen. Should have had maybe a bigger effect than it did. 1 penalty for Bremen, but it came in a key point of the ball game, 7 yards in penalties, and it cost them probably an opportunity to get a stop there. Also, the first down numbers were kind of strange, with 10 for Riley and 6 for Bremen. When Bremen did good things, they had success. They built the lead, but Riley contributed to that with those turnovers.
Well, let's show you visually how it got to be this way in Bremen tonight. The Lions were able to strike first. Ryan Caldwell found Sam Huffman in the end zone for the touchdown. The all-conference tight end with the snare. It's 7-0 Bremen, but back comes Riley. Jalen Cummings on a 14-yard jaunt to Pater. The two-point conversion failed, and Bremen clung to a 7-6 lead. They took that lead into the second quarter, and then Nathan Mullins started to get rumbling. He took one in from about 4 yards out there to make it 14-6. Bremen then came up with a big defensive play of the first half as Hunter Bennett stepped in front of a pass, got the interception there, took it all the way down to the Riley 36. A few plays later, Mullen would score his second touchdown of the first half as the big fella rumbled on in from about 3 yards out. 21-6, the Lions were cooking with gas, but back comes Riley right before the end of the first half. It's Justin Williams doing the work himself behind the block of Jalen Cummings, taking it in for the score. 21-12 at the intermission. A look at the first half numbers, Bob.
Well, the turnover is a big difference there. 2 for Riley, none for Bremen. And actually, like I said, I think the score probably should have been maybe one more touchdown in favor of Bremen. But Riley didn't quit. They came back to get the late score. I think a couple things are important. Bremen gets the ball to start the second half. Riley's going to have to get a stop and get back in the game. They truly are down by 2 scores. You know, sometimes you might say, well, a touchdown, an extra point, field goal, and it's all even. Riley doesn't kick extra points or field goals, so they're going to need 2 touchdowns just to have a chance to win the football game.
That'll do it for our Mary's Match Be the Match halftime report. For those of you on Facebook Live, stick around. Halftime scores are next. Otherwise, second half play-by-play comes your way next on TV 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. 21-12, Bremen on top of Riley at the half. So what do the Cats do differently in the second half? Let's go down to Bo Hunt for Bill's Heating Sideline Report.
Got a chance to talk to Coach Edison, and he talked about how sloppy they were in the second half and how they really needed to improve that, get back to their basics, get back to the things they practice. He said we needed to stop giving up the big plays and really get to the things that we do well. We're going to run the ball, we're going to throw the ball, but we just can't make mistakes that we did the first half. Chuck?
Bo, while I've got you, on this date in history, back in 1990, there was a game that was played between Bremen and Northwood where it says on this graphic that you led the defending state champs to a 28-21 win over Northwood. Do you remember anything about that game?
Just a little bit.
What do you remember?
Very memorable game. I think the biggest thing I took away from that game was some leadership issues that Coach Huber instilled in me during halftime. Got a little banged up in the second quarter, and there was a little conversation at halftime. We were down 21-7 at half, and we came back out. I was playing in the second half. I wasn't banged up anymore.
Did the conversation resemble the one between Herb Brooks and the player with the leg injury in Miracle?
Maybe a little bit more.
but it should be duly noted what happened when you came out for the third quarter.
I believe the first play was 88-yard touchdown run.
By you?
Yes,
okay.
By me.
We're ready for second half action. Our third quarter brought to us by Tyler's Heating and Cooling. Bremen receiving the opening kickoff and taking the ball on the run at the 18-yard line and bringing it all the way back up to the 38-yard line for the Lions is Evan Mangus. And so Bremen will go to work 1st and 10 with good field position. Their special teams have done a nice job in the return game tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's very solid play. And Mangus is a really good athlete. He's back there. He made a good catch in full flight and then headed up the field. And good solid field position. Again, it's going to be really important for Riley to get a stop here and to send a message to Bremen and start working their way back. Down by 2 scores here as we start the second half.
Well, and Riley had too many men on the field to start the play, so Bremen not only gets this first down from Nathan Mullen, but there's also going to be an illegal participation penalty. I don't know what was going on with the Riley defense right there.
Well, it's a tough result after you just spent 20 minutes in the locker room talking about what you want to do.
There was massive confusion Stephen Hampton was trying to run off the field. Couldn't.
Mullen hoping they take the play and not the penalty so he can get the yardage.
Well, I think the question among the officiating crew right now is this an add-on penalty? In other words, do you get the 12 yards plus the illegal participation? Eric Harmon getting the signal.
Maybe the illegal participation will be a 15-yard penalty.
Illegal substitution.
And I'm not exactly sure what Harmon is signaling here, but it is going all the way up to the 45-yard line. So that's tacking 5 on to the end of the run. So Ryan Caldwell already has the Lions in Riley territory after one play in the second half. Handoff to the up back. And I believe that's Bryce Wogeman, brought down by Gavin Luga and friends after a pickup of about 3. Luga, a strong young man. He benches 315 pounds. And he got a hold of Alex Stouter that time. So 2nd and 7. Two receivers go out to the right of Caldwell.
Riley might want to cut loose on one of these, maybe a passing down, see if they come after Caldwell.
Well, Caldwell pump fakes, lobs it up there. Chris White defending and breaks it up. Caldwell had a man out there, but the pass is dropped as White is able to get over and break it up, and you get another copy courtesy of Bethel College Admissions. He was looking for Justin Zumbrin.
Pretty good effort by the defensive back. He went for the breakup instead of the interception. You go up for the pick and don't get it, that could be 6 the other way.
3rd and 7 now for Bremen.
Might be that down I'm talking about. Let's see if they send somebody.
Mullen in the slot. We've not seen Riley do very much blitzing tonight. They're not blitzing here. Caldwell over the middle from Mullen, and the big fella takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Kobe Luga brought him down, but not until he got the first down at the 23.
Gain of 19 yards on the play.
Mullen didn't catch any passes last week, but he ran a beautiful route that time, and Caldwell led him perfectly.
65 yards passing now in the night for Caldwell on 5 out of 8.
Caldwell has really improved his mechanics. I'm sure he wanted this game desperately. He threw 3 picks last year in the game against Riley. Again, Caldwell scrambling in the backfield. He's got a man out there, but instead he'll keep it himself and run out of bounds for picking up about 5 yards. Sometimes discretion the better part of valor.
Certainly is. He's got 25 yards on the ground and 3 carries tonight. And that includes an 11-yard loss on that reverse play. A fumbled play which Bremen recovered.
Caldwell only had 4 yards rushing in the game against Tippecanoe Valley last week. Of course, they didn't need him to scramble all that much. Evan Mangus brings the play in from the Bremen sidelines. Zumbrin will check out.
If Riley could get a stop here, and even if they hold him to 3 points, they get 24-12, you're still down by 2 scores, which is the case right now when you don't have any kind of a field goal threat.
Caldwell, bad pitch on the option, and Stouter was lucky to recover that because Darian Taylor was charging in hard from the safety position. Taylor, an extremely quick senior who's getting some looks from Taylor University as well as Olivet Nazarene, almost was able to force the turnover here. You get another copy of Bethel College Admissions, and that was just a bad pitch.
Loss of 5 on the play. Sure, Stouter gets up and says, hey, thanks.
Yeah. 3rd and 11. Trips to the right of Caldwell. Caldwell has a man open. Can he see him? Yes, he does. There's Mullen. And Mullen gets downfield close to the first down. In fact, I think he's got it at the 11. The Bremen offensive line buying all kinds of time that time for Caldwell, and probably got a little help from a non-call by the officials.
Yeah, there were a couple of places where there was a Riley guy being
there's a
thrown
tug
down.
of the
There's
jersey
another
on
one.
Luga. I mean, there were only about 2 penalties on that one, but 1st and 10 at the 12. And a huge 3rd down conversion for Bremen.
83 yards passing now on the night.
Pitch to Mullen in the backfield. Mullen can't get around the side. Taylor and company push him back. Griffin Laudeman was there too, in on the stop. They'll lose 3 on the play. You get another look. Laudeman came racing in to pursue, but it was Taylor who got to the outside, and even with Mullen fighting him off with a stiff arm, couldn't finish him off.
Mullen was right on the precipice of 100 yards rushing on the night. Now he's back to 95 after that 3-yard loss.
Time-consuming first drive of the second half for the Bremen Lions, who lead by 9. Play clock down to 3. And Jordan Leeper's going to burn a timeout here. This is too valuable a play to perhaps take the delay of game.
Hey, a big thank you to the Bremen Pizza Hut for feeding our crew before the game tonight. Pizza Hut in Bremen has appetizers, salads, pasta, sandwiches, wings, desserts, and of course, great pizza. And they deliver all day. Order online at pizzahut.com or call them at 574-546-5888. Pizza Hut of Bremen. They say go Lions.
And a reminder that next week we've got the Holy War over at Father Bly Field as the Marion Knights and the St. Joe Indians renew that fabled rivalry. You realize that St. Joe, since they moved into Father Bly Field, have never beaten Marion at home since they got that turf field? I'm sure Byron Witten will bring that up a time or two.
Well, not to mention Father Bly himself.
So it's Marion and St. Joe. Friday night, 11, Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports, TV 46. You take a look at Ryan Caldwell, the senior quarterback of this Bremen team. 3-sport athlete here at Bremen. He also plays basketball and baseball. Looking at a 2nd and 13. Caldwell steps up in the pocket on the quarterback draw, runs right by a defensive lineman. Caldwell still on his feet all the way down to the 5.
Terrific run by Caldwell. He picked up 10 tough yards. But Chuck, boy, you having your quarterback out there taking shots, and a couple of guys from Riley looked like they were trying to take the ball away instead of tackling. Got him up high, and he finally, he took a shot there.
Well, Ryan Caldwell, one of the more experienced quarterbacks coming back in the area this year. In fact, he is 4th among returning quarterbacks in passing yards. Coming back this season, you see the list there as Caldwell hands off to Mullen, and Mullen is stacked up at the line of scrimmage and did not get the first down. It'll be 4th down and short for Bremen here. Let's take one more look at the graphic that we had up. James Snyder from Triton, his team struggling with LaVille tonight. Ashton Ruskowski we'll see next week. Jarvis White, I think, is underrated, although Jimtown is having its way with him tonight. And then Tanner Trapedi down at Tippecanoe Valley.
Chuck, this becomes an awful big play. Riley gets a stop. They're in the ball game. If Bremen finds a way to score, they've already used up not quite half of the 3rd quarter, but time's going to be an issue.
Caldwell himself, quarterback sneak, and he gets the first down to the 1. He went right behind his 3-year starting center, Zach Gilley. A young man who's a wrestler and a snowmobiler, and Gilley opened enough room for Caldwell to pick up the first.
28 yards for Caldwell tonight, and again, time is running. Really good thing for the Bremen Lions.
6:33 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. The Lions using up 5.5 minutes. The handoff to the up back, and it is a Bremen Lion touchdown. Alex Stouter pounds it in for the first time this year.
Well, you're looking at the quarterback. Obviously, you're looking at Mullen. And Stouter gets it up the middle for the touchdown.
Stouter, the 5'10 senior. was the special teams MVP on this squad a year ago and shows his value on offense there as he carts it on in from a yard out. Colin Kerr on to try the extra point. It's a line drive, but it's through the uprights. And with 6:24 to go in the third, Riley finds itself in its biggest deficit of the night. The Lions make it 28-12 on the Stouter touchdown here on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by J.B. Macri Orthodontics. Trust your smile to an expert. J.B. Macri always sponsoring the 46 Film Room on Wednesdays as we try to break down some of the reasons why teams win and lose in the area. We can't do it as good as the coaches, but we try.
How about that drive by Bremen? They go 62 yards in 12 plays. 4 first downs along the way, ran 5 minutes and 26 seconds off the clock, get into the end zone. They lead at 28-12. And so Riley still 2 scores down with 2 two-point conversions, but it's getting, the hole's getting a little deeper.
Jalen Cummings taking it down the field and finally tripped up by Colin Kerr deep in Bremen territory to the 37. What a return by the Riley speedster.
And what a gutty tackle by Kerr. You're right in front of a freight train, and you got to lower that shoulder, and he did.
Cummings had a kickoff return for a touchdown last year against Jimtown. I'm sure he thought he had just one man to beat here, but Kerr is not your typical kicker. He's a guy that can play all over the field and came up with a hit right there.
Well, what did Riley need to get it going? Right there.
And no rest for Cummings here, as he picks up maybe 2 yards or so before he's tossed back. Jake Wonder and Sam Huffman combine on the stop.
Riley needs to put a little bit of play action or something in it to freeze some of the defenders for Bremen. They're going with one move, giving it to the running back or throwing the ball, but Bremen staying home, very fundamentally sound defensively.
Riley looking at a 2nd and 10 will send trips out to the right of quarterback Justin Williams, and you take a look at Cummings on the sideline, just trying to catch his breath. We've got whistles blown and flags thrown, and a false start will be called against Riley.
Second penalty of the half and the 6th penalty of the night. 40 yards in penalties for Riley.
So Riley now looking at a 2nd and 15. Williams wants to throw and does. Completes the pass to Jathan Spicer. Spicer taken down at about the 32-yard line. So Spicer's starting to get into the action tonight. He didn't have any catches last week in the win over New Haven, but being pressed into a little more action this week as Gabe Johnson, one of the stalwarts of this Riley football team, has to sit this one out after an ejection against the Bulldogs.
Tough to be an effective player when you're out of uniform.
3rd and 5. Williams throws again, but this time put it behind his intended receiver, Spicer, and it'll be 4th and 5.
We talked about how Riley might be sending somebody. Bremen did right there. And Williams it was hard to remember to drain the swamp. There were alligators coming after him.
You understand the desire to play up tempo, but sometimes I think the offense moves a little too fast.
Big play here again for Riley. They're going to have a bunch of them in this ball game if they're going to get back in it.
Trips to the right of Williams. He's looking left the whole time, though, and now Williams decides to try to run, and he didn't get the first down. Stopped short at the 29-yard line. Bremen will take over again on downs after the Riley special teams set the table. The offense could not capitalize, and you'll get another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions. Too many green jerseys coming after Williams that time, and Robert Mudica finished him off.
And here's good news for Bremen. They got a lot of field in front of them. They could run a lot of that clock off of there.
Well, that Riley defense has to be a little bit winded right now. after Bremen kept them on the field for 5.5 minutes to start the second half. And the Lions will run again. Alex Stouter getting the carry. And Stouter picks up about 5 or 6. Boy, the Bremen offensive line moving people off the ball tonight. The law firm of Mudica, Adams, Gilly, Moser, and Pollard holding court down there. Lane Moser, only a freshman, but anybody who can handle a dairy steer can certainly handle a defensive lineman. Pitch out now. This is Stouter again trying to get around the outside, and Darian Taylor makes a nice open field tackle.
Only needed 3, and it looks like he got just enough for the first down. They're going to move the chains.
So Stouter doing the job, and boy, that Riley defensive line right now trying to gather its bearings. Barry Johnson, Ramon James been in pursuit.
Folks, you can save time, save gas, save money, and shop at Woody's. Woody's Supermarket in Bremen, excited to sponsor the Bremen Lions in tonight's game and all season long, and proud to be your hometown supermarket for 73 years. Local people serving local people since 1944.
Caldwell hands it off again. No, he kept it himself on the option and spins forward for 7. Nice deceptive ball handling that time by Ryan Caldwell.
35 yards rushing for Caldwell, and Chuck, when you don't hand it off, you can't fumble it. And I think you're going to see a very conservative approach here for Bremen.
Well, why not? The ground game has worked.
Worked well.
2nd and 3 from the 47. Bremen up by 16 points as you look at the long green line on the Bremen sideline. Handoff up the middle. Stouter picks up 4 in the first down. They're doing a lot of this without having to go to Mullen in the backfield.
Stouter's got 16 yards now and 7 carries tonight. Pretty nice backfield with Wonder. He's a little banged up tonight, hadn't carried the ball, but Wogelman, Stouter, and Mullen, along with the quarterback Caldwell, they run the ball well.
A lot of effective weapons. And then you've got a pretty decent receiving core, too, with Zumbrun, Kerr, and Mangus. Not to mention the tight end. Here's the big fella. Look at him running over people, picking up another first down. Nathan Mullen for 10, and he's got to be in 100-yard territory.
That will put him over the mark. He was at 95, so now at 106. You're going to give him 11 yards and a first down on a carry, so another 100-yard night for Nate Mullen.
Now they're going to perhaps bring on the chains right here. Eric Harmon is trying to eyeball this one, but says, bring him on out.
He didn't hear me say that it was a first down?
Apparently not.
I have to give him 10 then and tell you that the Zahoran Funeral Home has been serving Michiana families for 96 years. They have a long history of treating families with dignity and respect. Zahoran Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of Riley Athletics and wishes them good luck in the game tonight and all season. Go Wildcats from the great family at Zahoran Funeral Home.
Bob Nagel with the eyes of an eagle, picking that one out long before the officiating crew did. That is a first down. And so it's 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Handoff up the middle once again. About a 4-yard pickup there. And it looks like that was, it was not Mullen that time. I think it might have been Jake Wonder. Couldn't quite pick up who the ball carrier was that time for Bremen. Black numbers on a green background, not always the easiest. Caldwell bobbles, throws, and has his man coming out of the backfield. It's complete. He got the tight end that time, Sam Huffman. And Huffman takes it down the field for a first down all the way to the 22.
First down.
You get another courtesy of Bethel College admissions look at this one. We talked about the wide diversity of weapons that this Bremen offense has. But one of them just came over to the sidelines. Looks like Nathan Mullen might be cramping up a little bit. So Stouter is in the backfield now.
94 yards passing tonight for Bremen.
1st and 10, handoff to the up back. And there was no room to run for Bryce Wogeman that time. Andrew Walkowski made sure of that. Riley has only had the ball for 4 plays here in the third quarter.
1 minute and 50 seconds in the third quarter.
And Bremen will have it for the other 10-10, barring a fumble or an interception right here.
Well, we told you how important it was for Riley to get a stop to start the second half. They didn't. They are still 2 scores down as they were at halftime. They need 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, but they need to stop here.
Caldwell hands it off to Stouter off the right side, picks up about 4 yards, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. The Bremen Lions maybe just 12 minutes from putting themselves into the conversation in the NIC South this season. They've got a 16-point lead on South Bend Riley as we go to the fourth on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by IFT. The teams in this game working towards a great finish, and so's the team from Engineering Finishing Technologies. Partners with industries including aerospace, automotive, military, and defense at IFT. Quality is a way of life. The Bremen cheerleaders have had plenty to cheer about tonight. Their team up by 16. We go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo, what's the biggest difference between this Bremen team and last year's?
I think a lot of it is the determination that these kids have. You can see the emotion that they're showing out there. Last year they didn't have that emotion. They didn't have that drive, that want to go out there and compete. You can see that out there with a bunch of these kids. You know, there was a little tussle in that last drive, or the end of the third quarter there with Riley and some of the Bremen players at the bottom of the pile. Right after that, you saw the Bremen players really get up, really have some enthusiasm, that drive, and that competitive nature that you didn't really see last year, guys.
All right, thank you, Bo. Quarter number 4 begins with Bremen down to the Riley 18-yard line. And a pitch out here to the tailback Stouter, and Stouter cuts through traffic and goes to the end zone for his second touchdown of the night. Alex Stouter carving his way through the Riley defense, which is dog-tired after being on the field the entire second half.
Stouter with an impressive run of 17 yards for the touchdown. Gives him 49 yards rushing tonight. Mullen 105. And Wogeman at 21 yards rushing tonight. So a good balanced attack, and the quarterbacks run for 35 as well. So again, Bremen, Chuck, you said it before the ball game, I think. You called on an old Lou Holtz line. You said team that runs the ball for the most yardage will probably win.
And indeed, that is the case right now as Colin Kerr boots his 5th extra point of the night. And you get another look at the touchdown run of Alex Stouter. Simple pitch sweep. And Stouter doing this by breaking tackles and finding no one behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, among those who are happy about the outcome tonight, the Bremen Athletic Department extends its appreciation to our student body, cheerleaders, band, color guard, community faculty, staff, and the long green line. Your dedication and support are tremendous. A special thanks to the Bremen coaching staffs for all the early mornings, late nights, and your sincere commitment to our student athletes. Little B, big green. That's what Bremen's all about.
So Alex Stouter with his second touchdown of the night, 35-12 in favor of Bremen, and you see that third quarter time of possession on your screen right now, and that is one of the stories behind the story tonight in this game.
It really was, you know, and you got to give Bremen a lot of credit. they knew how important it was starting the second half to get out there and move the ball, at least get it out of their own end. They took it all the way down the field for a touchdown.
And Kerr puts this one into the end zone for his second touchback of the night. The Lions clicking on all cylinders this evening against Riley.
Well, Jarvis Edison's got a tough task right here. He's got to keep his guys' heads up. They got to make improvements. They got to develop. They've got more games coming up. They will take on the, you're going to say they're going to take on John Glenn, but John Glenn is what's up next for Bremen. They've got Adams next week, do the Riley Wildcats, and that'll be a tough assignment. So they've got to keep their heads up and keep working to get better here tonight. Got a whole quarter to go.
Jarvis Edison will have to go up against his old boss, Antoine Jones, in that one. And Adams looking impressive in their school field debut this evening. Here's a new quarterback in the game now. That's Senator Brown throwing, and the pass was intended for Jalen Cummings, falls incomplete. So Brown thrown into the game here, and boy, Cummings took a shot that time as he tried to come up with the ball. You get another copy of it, and it's Stouter who just upended him, and I think Cummings landed on his noggin. He's coming off the field. There you see Senator Brown, the 5'9", 160-pound junior. He got into a couple of games last year for Riley. He threw a pass last week in the game against New Haven. But Jarvis Edison trying to shake things up and get a look at somebody else at the quarterback slot. Blitz coming. Brown goes the other way, and the nimble junior takes it about 3 yards forward before he's brought down. And there's a little skirmish behind the play as tempers are starting to fray out here.
Well, when you think about the Riley lineup, if the Senator could be an adequate replacement at quarterback, it allows you to put Williams maybe somewhere else, tailback, wide receiver. Again, he's a great athlete, and he's going to play a lot of football for Riley.
Eric Harmon trying to settle things down out there on the field right now. As you see the numbers on Brown, 3rd and 6. Brown steps up in the pocket, throws, and has his man for a first down. Chris White with his first catch of the night. White had 5 grabs for 151 yards last week, but was unable to make a catch until the 4th quarter tonight.
As we said, Chris White was the guy who was getting a lot of attention tonight.
1st and 10 for Riley. Still deep in its own territory. Brown scrambling. Now tried to turn upfield and run out of bounds before he could get to the line of scrimmage as Jake Wonder manages to get a tackle for loss.
Thor Industries loves this time of year because team pride is on full display. That team culture from Friday Night Sidelines extends to our Thor Industries team. Build your future right here in Elkhart with one of Thor's excellent career opportunities. Get started today at thorindustries.com.
2nd and 12. Man in motion. Brown, quarterback draw. Has some room to run, but instead of cutting towards the hole, he went back the other way, and Jake Wonder tripped him up. So a 3rd and long here for Riley. 3rd and about 9.
Bremen's got kind of a free pass out there defensively. The guys are putting their ears back and coming. They've got a comfortable lead and a chance to shut down this Riley attack one more time.
Apparently there was a penalty flag thrown on the play as the officials are talking to Jake Wonder, and Wonder says that Bremen wants to take the penalty. It's a holding call on Riley. And the wheels have come off a little bit for the Wildcats here in the second half. It was a 9-point game at halftime. Riley had scored a touchdown with 13.5 seconds left first half. But the second half has been all Bremen.
Some surprising results going on tonight here in Northern Indiana. We're looking forward to next week. Marion at St. Joe.
Brown buried in the backfield. Bryce Wogeman was underneath him, and Zach Gilly was on top of him. So Wogeman and Gilly combine on the sack. And Riley now looking at third and 3:31, I think.
Man, that was a hammer job there. Haven't really been a lot of sacks in the ball game, but that one certainly was.
So Senator Brown takes the shotgun snap and delivers to Jathan Spicer. Spicer just had too much ground to carry, and Jake Wonder makes the stop at the 22-yard line. 4th and 20, and we'll see what Jarvis Edison does here. With Justin Williams out of the game, I don't know if Brown does any punting or not.
Well, we just hope that Williams is out so they get a look at the other players, but I hope he's not hurt. He does a lot of things for this Riley team.
The snap comes to Brown. He acted like he was going to kick. Now he tosses it out to Ronnie King, and King is tackled well short of the first down marker, so Bremen's going to take over at the Riley 28. And the Lions have this one firmly under control.
You're out of here.
Great defensive stand there by Bremen. You know, Riley's going to go with the kitchen sink if they can. Bremen matched up, really got aggressive on that defensive front.
The Riley student body across the way flashing their cell phones here. They had a whiteout tonight, the ones who showed up. Sean Henderson, the principal over at Riley High School. Caldwell still in the game for the Lions, up by 23 with 8:47 left. Nathan Mullen around the left side. Walkowski was in pursuit. He makes the stop along with Jalen Jennings. Got two very good students there. You met Walkowski and Jalen Jennings, a 3.5 GPA. Jalen getting some football offers from schools like Indiana Wesleyan.
He's a terrific talent. We've seen him obviously play a lot of basketball, but I love the fact that he wants to come out here. I was talking to him before the game. I said, when's basketball practice start? He said, nothing starts till football's over, so he's all in.
Well, and he's all in during track season, too, as a long jumper, so he stays active year-round. 2nd and 9. Caldwell faked the pitch to Mullen, came back to Bryce Wogeman. Wogeman gets stood up at the line of scrimmage. Darian Taylor has had his name called a lot tonight, and for good reason. And if we're not talking about it on the air, he can write about it in the Riley Review. Darian, one of the editors of the student newspaper at South Bend Riley.
Well, wind has picked up a little bit here tonight. Not much of a factor in the ball game, but took one of my notes down to section 21.
Well, I'm sure they'll enjoy it. 3rd and 8. Caldwell pumps, fires, and it is dropped. He was trying to lead Mullen, but that was a little bit too much of a diving catch for Nathan to make. And you had a chat with Nathan Mullen this week. Yeah, this young man that's overcome quite a bit.
He has, Chuck, and the reason I wanted to talk to him specifically about his weight is because it's fluctuated. And I thought maybe it's one of these guys, you know, senior year, you get in the weight room and you bulk up a little bit. But he had some health issues where he couldn't work out at all. So his weight actually got up to about 228. And he said now he's down to about 210 or so and feeling more comfortable. But he's also filled out. It's a powerfully built young man, and good to see him back. He worked really hard to overcome some health issues during the offseason, and great to see him back in uniform.
Caldwell throws incomplete on 4th down. And so Riley will take over with 7:07 to go in the game, trailing 35-12 on 46. Friends, this version of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Alongside my Hall of Fame partners, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby from Don Bunge Field in Bremen. 35-12 in favor of the Lions. Riley takes over the football. Looks like Justin Williams back in at quarterback, and he really took a shot behind the line of scrimmage that time for a loss of 2.
Well, maybe they're waiting for Bremen to put in some backups, but they're still playing pretty tough out there. That takes Williams' rushing yards down to 21.
Jarvis Edison maybe just trying to get a look at some different personnel, see if he could find a trigger for his offense. Williams fires into the flat. White with the catch short of the first down. Nice stop made that time by Zach Miller, the junior cornerback, who's a 3-sport athlete, also plays basketball and track.
Pretty good pickup, and White shows you how quickly he can take the ball and head upfield. He picked up 9 yards on that play.
3rd down and 4. Williams and the Wildcats will really have to try to work the clock here as much as anything else. Williams in trouble, and down he goes. What a night Sam Huffman has had on defense. That's at least his 2nd sack. 6'1", 215, and only a junior.
Well, Williams is thrown for 184 yards tonight, but he's gone backwards on a number of carries. 8-yard loss on that sack.
So 4th and 12. And again, you wonder if Jarvis Edison is just going to go ahead and go for it here. Williams in the game, punts it, and it line drives right into the belly of Jake Wonder, and Wonder is working to the end zone. Did he get in? Touch. Is it a touchdown or no? They mark it at the 1. Wonder is loving that play as he took that line drive punt right in the midsection. Picked it up on a couple of hops and tried to weave his way into the end zone. Only the tackle of Dylan Sandusky was able to stop him.
Yeah, the Lions have a chance to tack one on here.
Well, a Bremen team that quite frankly did not enjoy its TV 46 experience last season is loving life tonight. Handoff up the middle, did not get in, as Gavin Luga was able to get in and make the stop. They were trying to reward Wonder that time. Wonder says, hey, I want to stay in the game. I want my touchdown.
Well, Wonder going to stay in the ball game.
Yeah, he is. He's not coming out until he gets across the goal line.
Well, he was awful close on the, wasn't an interception. It was actually, you'd have to count it as a punt return, right?
Yeah. So Wonder in front of Mullen here. Let's see if they go back to him. They do. Wonder to the end zone. Did he get in? Touchdown, Bremen. And the Wonder years are on again.
4:46 to go. Bremen's on the scoreboard again. It's going to be a very impressive number when people look at the score. And again, they deserve the victory. They certainly were impressive. They were more impressive in the first half than the score indicated, I thought. The two, the time they got the ball back there and the double reverse hurt them a little bit. Didn't convert on both of the turnovers, but did a lot of good things.
The kick by Kerr is up and good. 4:46 to go in this one, but it's a fait accompli. The Lion not sleeping tonight. He is roaring to a 42-12 lead on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 28 years. Jordan Leeper was a longtime assistant at Bremen, has been the head coach for the last 3 years, and this will be his 14th win in charge of the Lions, avenging a 7-point loss to this Riley team last year.
New Prairie having their way with Clay tonight, 49-0 at halftime.
There have been some lopsided scores tonight. Northwood had a huge lead on Fairfield. Elkhart Central, perhaps a little surprisingly, had a 45-0 lead on Goshen at halftime tonight. As Kerr kicks off, Jalen Cummings takes it back at his 11-yard line. Cummings trying to weave his way up the field and finally wrapped up and pushed backwards at about the 33-yard line. So for the Bremen Lions, what do they have coming up after this? They go to John Glenn next week. Triton comes here to Don Bungie Field. They go to Clay. And a lot of people are going to look forward to that game on September 21st where they take on Marion. Bremen upset Marion last year at a Tulski Field, and now the Knights will be coming into the Lions' den.
Well, you're going to play Bremen. You better pack your bags for the whole night.
Justin Williams with the throw. Jalen Jennings makes the reception, but only able to pick up about 3 yards on the play. Meanwhile, Darian Taylor comes up a little bit hobbled, but staying in the game.
19 of 28 for 187 yards tonight for Williams. And again, when you look at that, that's a pretty efficient night.
Now Williams trying to throw down the field, but he short arms that ball intended for Chris White. Evan Mangus had the coverage on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8.
They run the ball for about 66 yards tonight. It's, well, let's say 70 now, because the other quarterback came in, ran for about 4 yards, but 70 yards didn't cut it tonight.
I'm not sure they've really attempted a true running play, though. They've had some quarterback scrambles, but I don't think they ever attempted a true running play in the second half. Of course, now at this stage of the game, you can't. And the pass for Cummings falls incomplete, and it'll be 4th down.
19 out of 30 now for Williams. Chuck, I totally agree with you. And if you're not confident in running the ball, then you need to work on your offensive line a little bit more, and that's part of the process. And early in the season, I'm sure that'll be a priority in the weeks to come for Riley.
Here's Williams punting the ball away, and it takes a Riley roll and goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Keep it here, and normally we don't talk about this on the air, but we might as well here. We've got 3:49 before this one is over, and there are so many candidates for player of the game tonight. Let's take a little survey. Let's go down for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo Hunt, a lot of your former players on this team. Who are you going to celebrate tonight?
Well, you know, there's a lot of players out here that we could interview after the game. We could interview a lot of the offensive linemen, defensive linemen, whatever it is. I really like Alex Stouter, a two-way player, plays both offense and defense, played all 4 quarters of heart and grit and really determination out there. I really like what Alex Stouter did, guys.
Bob?
Well, Bo trying to keep the awards away from Nate Mullen because Nate wants to be the best running back ever at Bremen. No, I'm kidding, Bo. But I'll tell you what, Stouter did do a lot of good things both ways. Ran for over 50 yards tonight. Had some big plays, some big tackles, and was a good leader out there for Bremen. As you said, there's a lot of choices here tonight.
Well, I'm going to make it unanimous. I think Stouter, for the points that Bo brought up, the fact that he did it on both offense and defense and had 2 touchdowns tonight. So we'll be talking with Alex on the post-game show. When this one is over, he will be our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game. As you see, we've gotten into the time of the game where you start to check the roster a little bit more. That was Blake Dingus on the carry that time. As there you see Stouter. Unknowingly, he should be working on his post-game comments right now because he's going to get a chance to talk with Mr. Hunt when this one is over.
A lot of people have tonight.
The electrifying play of the game may have been turned in by the defense, too. Young man making his first varsity pick might be the guy that turned this one around. Has got another handoff here. Ethan Noonemaker in the game making the handoff. And it was Grant Kaufman on the carry that time. Kaufman, a 5'8", 160-pound sophomore. And a timeout taken by Riley with 2:50 left. looking at a 3rd and 13. So what do the Cats have to combat with? Bob mentioned the game with Adams next week. That'll be at Jackson Field. And then Riley with a big game at Tulski Field against Marion. In fact, their next 3 games are awfully tough. With Adams, Marion, Washington, and Clay, the good news for them is 3 out of 4 at home.
Well, the Wildcats, as we said, have a lot of talent. They need to find a way to be more productive, using more of the running game. We could second guess all night, but I thought they came out and were ready to play and did some good things. They got behind 7-0, then they scored and went for 2, didn't get it. It was 7-6, and that's as close as they got. But Raleigh Wildcat team has a lot of talent. Kids got to get back to work on Monday and get better next week.
Here's a pitch out, and it's bobbled in the backfield, and then Andrew Walkowski in on yet another stop as he knocks down Blake Dingus here, the sophomore.
We mentioned that Riley still has players coming out, gotten into school, found out that they could still be on the football team, and so maybe they'll find a George Gipp, maybe somebody will show up that can really help them. But I love the work ethic, and Bremen's waiting for the eligibility of a young man. And Giovanni.
Go ahead, you met him. You get the last name on the.
I'm going to try for it.
Panara?
No. He's from Salerno, Italy. I should know this. But young man's
here's a beautiful kick that goes over the head of the Riley defense and rolls all the way down to the 11-yard line. So everything working for Bremen tonight. And this has got to put a smile on the face of a 95-year-old legend in Bremen. Got a chance before the game. Bo Hunt shared some time with his old coach, Don Bungie, down on the sidelines. Cole Hunt, Bo's son, got a chance to meet the coach. I got a chance to talk to Don earlier this week. And Bo, you were telling me before the game, Don Bungie, not only legendary as a coach here, they call it Don Bungie Field for a reason because, well, Don Bungie made the field.
Planted the grass.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the story of, how this field came about, it was Coach Bungie. Him and Nursty, the track is named after Coach Nursty, Fritz Nursty. They laid this field hand by hand, dug it, laid the grass seed, laid everything on this field. When they came here, there was no football team. They created the football team, Coach Bungie, and stayed here for years and years, and just so happy that he was able to come back for my freshman year and get a state championship for all the years and all the stuff that he's ever done to this program, guys.
And there you see the 95-year-old head coach lives right across the street from the school. Here's a pass, and it's intercepted. Evan Mangus gets the pick. He'll get to wear one of those black turnover shirts at practice next week as Mangus gets his 2nd interception of the season. He had a chance for 2 others tonight. It's nice to see that he put some stickum on the hands for the second half.
Another outstanding representative of Bremen High School, 4.0 GPA, which is ironically yours and mine combined.
And now Caldwell will lead the Lions into victory formation for the end of the game here, as Bremen will kill off the final minute 12 of this one, and Bremen will go to 2-0 on the year, getting ready to renew their rivalry with John Glenn next week.
And as our time runs down, Chuck, I want to take a moment just to express our condolences and congratulations on great lives lived. Tom Rogeman, who was a coach what's up in Washington, went on to coach in college, including Arizona, Southern California, Purdue. Evelyn Reinbold, who was the widow of Jim Reinbold, who coached baseball at Clay for many, many years.
State champion coach.
Yep. We also lost David Feldman, who was an official here in Northern Indiana. We wish them all, their families, they're in their prayers. And also a young lady here from Bremen, Joanna Henney, passed away this week. She was involved in things here at Bremen, so we want to send our regards to all those folks.
So the Bremen Lions are now 2-0 and 1-0 in the NIC South after an impressive 42-12 win over the Riley Wildcats tonight. Stick around. Our post-game coverage begins, and we'll have our electrical workers Local 153 electrifying play of the game. We'll also feature our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game. It all comes your way next as post-game coverage begins on the 46th Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by
An old glorious night for the Bremen Lions as they win at 42-12 over the Riley Wildcats. Welcome everybody to the Tyler's Heating and Cooling postgame show. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, high atop the fray here in Bremen. And an impressive performance by the Lions tonight, Bob, as they came out and really physically took it to this Riley team.
They really did, and I think what you got to look at in the final results, the stats will tell you that Bremen had over 300 yards of offense and balanced it out pretty well, mostly running the football tonight. They had about 100 yards passing. It was pretty good. Riley threw the ball for a lot of yards, almost 200 yards on the night, but again, inconsistent, and they turned the ball over twice. And so in a game like this, you'd say, well, who helped who? Riley got no help at all from Bremen tonight. Bremen had some big stands. They warmed down a little bit by the end of the game, and the Bremen Lions got some help from Riley with the 2 turnovers and a couple of questionable calls and in situations. I just think that Riley has a lot more upside to them than we saw here tonight. Bremen is a solid football team.
Well, we took away the drama of this moment for you. We've already told you who our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game is. Alex Stouter is standing by now with Bo Hunt.
The player of the game for the Bremen Lions in their 42-12 victory, Alex Stouter. Alex, heck of a game out there. Just congratulations on being our player of the game.
Thank you. Feels good. We came out, we didn't fight our hardest the first half, but we came out swinging in the second half and just gave it to them second half, and we never stopped.
Just talk about that running game you guys have. Caldwell being able to run it from the backfield. Mullen, you guys can throw 3-4 guys in there, including yourself.
We got a quick backfield, we got some big boys back there too. We can drive through and just drive everything, and big help from our line because they're big boys, and going up against like big boys like Riley, they worked their butts off this weekend.
Yeah, that line really gave a good surge. So when you guys got the ball, they were already 2-3 yards downfield. Just talk about those linemen.
I don't know. They were just phenomenal tonight. It was amazing.
Not only do you do offense, but you're a two-way player. You play defense out there, and that's what happens at a smaller school. You got to play both ways. Just talk about that defense and how that defense stepped up as well.
Oh, our defense stepped up a lot tonight. First half, it was rough. We couldn't stop them up the middle and pass it in the middle, but the second half we came out strong, and we just shut everything down.
NIC is wide open this year in the South. Just talk about where you guys see yourself in the NIC South this year.
Oh, I see us going far this year. We got a good team. We're willing to work hard as we can. I think we're going to go far.
Alex, go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you, thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Bo. And Bo mentioned the fact that the defense played such a role on this team tonight, and they came up with really our electrical workers Local 153 electrifying play of the game, and it happened tonight. Well, thanks to a young man that really hadn't been getting a lot of press, Hunter Bennett making his first career interception.
Well, and there's so many veterans on that Bremen team. And look at Bennett come up there, had an opportunity, and I tell you what, when he went down, he jumped right back up because, hey, I got an interception tonight, and he'll get one of the awards at the weekly meeting for the team. And I saw this team, Chuck, the other day when I was here for practice. They all went out to the starters, the seniors, everybody went over to the Rock here in front of the high school of Bremen, and had a great talk with their head coach about what their goals are and what their aspirations are for the season. They're well focused, and they played like it tonight.
So the Bremen Lions go to 2-0 on the year. They've got John Glenn next week. The Riley Wildcats fall to 1-1, and they get to return to Jackson Field and play a big city rivalry game with South Bend Adams, and we look forward to seeing the renewal of the Holy War as Marion takes on St. Joe. As the Lions leave, our thanks to our TV46 crew spent the afternoon and evening helping bring you this one, including Joe Fratina working all the buttons inside there tonight. Tom Ward had some challenges with audio tonight, but came through in the clutch, as did the rest of our team. A reminder, next Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9, there's more high school football for you when the Marion Knights visit Father Bly Field in downtown South Bend and take on the St. Joe Indians. A couple of undefeated teams going head-to-head in that one. Should be a fun one. We'll have it for you Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget college football for you on Pulse Thursday night with Purdue, and the WHME Film Room every Wednesday when you follow us on Facebook. Now for my Hall of Fame partners, Bob Nagel and Bohan, Chuck Freeby. Final score, Bremen 42, Riley 12. So long from the land of mint.